Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Angular Team. I've got with me here Andrew Scott. Andrew, how you doing?
Hey, doing great. How are you?
Good, doing good. Could see you're in the office. Little post-pandemic office time, all right?
Yeah. First time back in the office, like I was saying earlier, since, man, who even knows how long, but I used to work in the Bay Area and moved up to Portland, so it's my very first time in my new office in
Nice,
Portland.
nice. Cool. Well, let's get right into it. Let's just start with like the basics. How did you get into programming?
It's been kind of part of my life for a really, really long time. It's one of those things where it's like, when was I not into it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to remember, but that comes from my mom worked at Sun Microsystems for 25 years. She was on the documentation team for documenting Java.
Wow.
So, grew up with my parents being very involved in computers and technology and programming. And so, just kind of going from there. I think I started learning Java in 5th or 6th grade.
Wow.
Just learning it on the side.
Nice. Real family tradition.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. So how long have you been on the Angular team now?
Let's see. I think it was summer of 2019 when I joined. So I was about on the Angular team for 6 months before going and working from home.
Right. Crazy. So tell us about your role and give us a little bit of what an average day is like for you.
Well, yeah, days are very different every day. But yeah, so I'm on the framework team. So that's, doing anything from core work to I'm actually the owner of the router and the language service and VS Code extension. So those are my main my main ownerships, but I touch a lot of different things where I'm needed.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So a lot of programming, I assume a lot of meetings as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot to touch on it, like day-to-day work. I mean, these days is a lot more meetings because I'm just getting a little bit more involved in sort of the planning phase of things.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we've had like tons of work on migrations with Vue Engine to Ivy transition and some other internal things that I've been working on, but starting to get into more of the planning phase of stuff. So a lot more meetings these days. But yeah, my mornings I wake up and I check the GitHub issue tracker and make sure like things are triaged and handled, and catch up on emails, and then start to plan what my day will look like.
Gotcha. Cool. So tell us, what's one of your favorite things about Angular itself?
Like the framework or being on the Angular team?
Let's start with just the framework itself. Angular's a product.
Yeah, as a product. I think the compiler is very cool. The way it does type checking and the way it integrates into now the language service is really, really cool. I think the attention to developer experience in terms of like the full end-to-end thing is really great. And one of the things that I think stands out for Angular is how much the core team owns of that end-to-end experience, rather than relying on third-party like 8 different routers that you can choose from. There's like one that we support, which is great from getting started standpoint. You can look in one place.
Right. Cool. What about the Angular team itself? What's it like? What's nice? What do you like about being on the Angular team?
Yeah, so of course the team is great, and I love everyone on the team and working with them. And in terms of like a personal love outside of everyone, like the community and like the people on the team, I've always been really passionate about developer experience. So I think that it's really great to be on an infrastructure team and being able to focus on things that are going to improve day-to-day life of developers. So that includes, that's why I asked to be put on the language service project and owning that, because I really like that part of things, and I think it's great to be able to contribute to that really meaningfully for a ton of developers.
Cool. That's very cool. Let's ask kind of a tough question here. What do you think is perhaps one of the hardest pieces of Angular to learn?
Ooh, hardest part to learn. I mean, if you're getting into the details of dependency injection, that is a really difficult thing to understand. Like skip self and host and all of that and the interactions there. But I think interestingly, modules, ng modules are very hard to wrap your mind around sometimes. And that's why I'm really, really excited about the standalone components, where you kind of don't have to know about the modules anymore, the ng modules. We get that so often in new users coming to Angular and going through trainings that it's like, it's very hard to understand imports and exports and providers and the ng module. Like you have this component, you have to declare it somewhere else. Like things are all over the place sometimes, but with standalone components, it's just much more focused.
Cool. All right. Let's maybe get a little serious here. How do you deal with imposter syndrome?
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I definitely have it. Just like pretty much every developer probably has. I don't know. I think part of it is just ignoring it, and when you start to feel, or like when I start to feel like an imposter or that imposter syndrome, just thinking about something else. But I think it comes down to knowing that I do a good job on what I do and not necessarily comparing myself to other teammates or other developers out there, but just knowing that I am confident in the work that I do, and that I am good at things, and that, ultimately I was hired and I was put on this team, and in performance reviews or whatnot, it's not like you are underperforming. So it's really great to keep getting positive feedback, and that helps a lot. But just trusting that I do my own work and not trying to compare myself to other people is really important.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So maybe a little bit more lighthearted question. If you could choose any job in the world, but it had to be outside of software, what would you do?
Yeah. I think it's a great question. I think it's really cool. If I didn't have to think about supporting my family in any way, I think like definitely something outdoorsy, maybe like a mountain guide or something.
Yeah.
I would love to be doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, actually, part of what delayed my return to office is I have a broken ankle because I broke it mountain biking. So I was supposed to be back earlier in the month, but I've not come in for a while because it's just hard for me to travel right now.
Gotcha. Dang. Well, I hope that heals soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move into our rapid fire questions section here. We're going to finish up with that. So I'm going to give you a bunch of questions. I'm going to give you an A or B choice. Choose one or the other. You can choose both or neither if you're not bold, but no explanation necessary. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go. So first one, straightforward. Kirk or Picard?
I gotta be honest, I didn't watch enough Star Trek. More of a Star Wars guy.
More of a Star Wars guy. All right, well, let's go with a Star Wars question then. Episode 8 or episode 9?
Let's go with 9.
9? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stay on that theme here. BB-8 or Grogu?
BB-8.
BB-8. All right. Okay. Mickey or Goofy?
Goofy.
Game of Thrones or Squid Game?
Game of Thrones.
Sports or esports?
Sports.
Golf
Though
or...
I will say I played plenty of esports in my
Yeah.
big into League of Legends. but I realized it was
Oh.
such a time suck. One day, you know how everyone, you get people like uninstall. I did. Cold turkey, I sold my computer.
Oh, geez. All right. Manga or mangoes?
Mangoes.
Okay. Vite or Webpack?
It's just because I'm more familiar with Webpack. I can't speak to Vite.
All right. All right. Thor or Star-Lord?
We'll go with Thor.
Okay. Final question. Billie Eilish or Billy Joel?
I'm gonna go with Billie Eilish, but I'm gonna have to admit that I'm not huge into the music or celebrity scene, so I can't really say
Gotcha.
with conviction.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a bunch, Andrew, for taking time out of your busy day. We really appreciate having an opportunity to get to learn a little bit more about you. And we look forward to getting to see you in person at ng-conf. And of course, everybody that gets to attend as well. Hopefully the viewers, you all get to attend as well. And we'll hope to see you all there.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.